Okay, so today we are back with our new video and we're gonna talk about what are the roles available for those who like to start their career in cloud security, what are the important skill sets to excel at these roles, and most importantly, how can you kickstart your career in cloud security. So these are the topics that we're gonna cover in today's video, and let's deep dive into it. So what is cloud security? Well, in short, cloud security is about protecting data, applications, and services deployed in cloud environments. And there are five key areas which we always emphasize on when we talk about cloud security. And these are authentication and access control, user behavior analytics and logging, asset and data classifications, configuration hardening, as well as logical segmentation. Well, first one, for authentication and access control, this control helps us to properly identify users, match them to a proper set of resources, and control access based on our corporate policy. Well, this allows us to combine individual components to grant or restrict access, enforce IT policy, as well as establish a zero trust model that aligns with established cloud security principles. Well, for layer 2, when we talk about user behavior analytics and logging, well, this is where we monitor what are the actions performed by individual users, and we will try to apply algorithms and analyze their behavior to see if it's aligned with our normal baseline behavior. Well, this will help us to identify whether the user is trying to perform any malicious attacks within our environment. For layer 3, where we talk about asset and data classification, well, in short, this is the phase where we are trying to identify what are the assets owned by the company in the cloud and whether are there any sensitive information or data that are stored in those assets in the cloud. And for layer 4, configuration hardening, this is where we focuses on ascertaining the state of network environments and securing them by decreasing or eliminating attack vulnerabilities. While for layer 5, where we talk about logical segmentation, while this focuses on separating the cloud environment into distinct zones of trust to minimize an intrusion's impact. This allows you with total control over traffic flows without modifying your physical infrastructure. Okay, and here we go, we have covered cloud security. And next, we're gonna talk about what are the roles that are friendly to those who are trying to kickstart their careers in cloud security industry. And first thing first, there's this role called security analyst, where they are the first line of defense for security team, where they always monitor and also react to incidents or alerts that happen in the cloud. And the second role we're going to talk about is security engineer. So these guys are the one that implement security controls, build up all the integration between different security tools, as well as ensuring that all of our security tools they are up to date with the latest patches. And the third role that you can consider is called DevSecOps engineer. This DevSecOps engineer focuses on security automation as well as maintaining the CI/CD pipeline that aligns with cloud security best practices. Last but not least, there's also this role called security architect. Well, in short, a security architect is responsible for designing security frameworks and ensure that all the architecture within the system they are aligned with, let's say, zero trust principle as well as some of the security best practices. Okay, well, this slide talks about what are the important skills for you to excel in cloud security. So first thing first, it is important for you to understand the cloud fundamentals, especially the three big cloud service providers, which are AWS, Azure Cloud, as well as Google Cloud. So it's very important for you to familiarize yourself with the technology as well as the naming convention provided by these cloud service providers. Second, we're going to talk about networking and firewalls. So essentially, you have to familiarize yourself with all the network topology or the network naming convention as well as how do you actually operate or block your traffic using a firewall. And for example, you have to know what are the TCP/IP protocols, what is a VPN, as well as what is security group in the cloud. And the third thing that's an important skill for cloud security is IAM and access controls. Well, this one talks about role-based access control, applying multi-factor authentication to your user, as well as maintaining a zero trust architecture. Well, the fourth skills that I want to talk about is security logging and monitoring. This one essentially talks about what are the different logging format for different cloud service provider, and what are the detection engine that you can use to identify any anomalies as well as identify any threats in the cloud. So for example, the most important log in AWS is CloudTrail logs, and this is an audit log that monitors all the user activities, all the API calls that happens in AWS cloud. And in AWS, we have this threat detection service called GuardDuty, and basically GuardDuty uses AI and machine learning to analyze the baseline of your logs, and they'll help you identify if any behaviors that sort of like deviates from your baseline activity, and you identify that as an alert, as a threat to your security team. And last but not least, we're going to talk about automation and scripting. Well, it's very important for yourself to familiarize with some of the programming language that is always used for automation, so such as Python, Bash, and Terraform. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna move on to what are the recommended certifications for beginners to start off within the cloud security industry. So first thing first, we have this certificate provided by AWS, which is called AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. And for Azure, we have this certificate called Azure Fundamentals, and the code as well is AZ900. And for Google Cloud, is recommended for you to kickstart with this certificate called Google Cloud Cybersecurity Certificate. And last but not least, as a beginner-friendly certificate for someone who would like to venture into cloud security, you can always start off with CompTIA Security Plus. So these are the few certificates which I personally recommend for those beginners who would like to kickstart your career in cloud security. Alright, and last but not least, we're going to talk about the most important part. How do you actually get yourself into cloud security and land your ultimate first job? Well, I think there are a few steps I would personally recommend, and here are them. First thing first, I think it's important for you to build a cloud security home lab where you can actually practice yourself with some hands-on skill, and also implement some security projects on your own. And I think secondly, you can also write about your learning and post it online, whether is it on LinkedIn or is it on your blog. Or you can also create a new YouTube channel like myself, where I share my personal experience in this cloud security industry. And I think third thing is you can contribute to any of the open source security projects, and I think it's very helpful as you will get a lot of exposure in the industry. And I think the fourth thing is always network with professionals in the industry. I think we have a lot of cloud security experts in the industry, and I think they are very willing to help us to also venture into this field. And I think last but not least, I think we can try to start with some entry level roles, and I think I personally recommend this role, cloud security analyst. I think it's quite beginner friendly, and it's not too hard for IT background person to land this job. So I think if you were to venture into cloud security, these are the few steps that you can focus on that will help you to break into this industry. And I think there's this favorite quote that I like to use, and which is dream big, start small, but most of all, just start. Okay, and here's a key recap for this video. And so I think cloud security is essential for protecting cloud environment, and there are multiple career paths in cloud security. For example, you can become a security analyst, security engineer, or security architect. Yep. And some of the important skills for you to excel if you ever want to land a role within cloud security, which are IAM, network security, logging, and automation. Then I think certifications definitely help in your job interview as well as your day-to-day job. But I think hands-on experience is a key factor. And last but not least, always start small with little steps. So here comes the end of this video, and do remember to hit like, subscribe, and also comment down below what are topics that you would like me to explain on for cloud security, and I'll see you guys in next video. Thank you.